On behalf of Geoff and Kate, I want to thank everyone on their behalf for the part that you played in their lives. You have helped mold them into the wonderful people that stand before us today. You've had a huge impact on them, and they thank you for your time, your effort, and your energy to be here today. On behalf of those of us assembled here, I want to thank you too for sharing this with us, for having us here, and the impact you've had on our lives. What a great day. We were sitting out here in the snow yesterday, and then here comes the sun, and boom, a cloud part. What an awesome experience. We're all so thrilled to be here today. For those of you that don't know me, I am Brian King. I am the youngest member, or the newest member of the Bama family. I married Jen, their youngest daughter, 14 years ago, and until today, I've been the newest member of the Bama family. Geoff, we welcome you to the fold. And before we go any further, if you two ever get bored with your day jobs, wedding attire modeling, you got it covered. When I first met Kate was when I first met the entire Bama family. She had just gotten out of high school, was getting ready to start college. And I was just so struck by her determination and her drive. And she seemed wise beyond her years. And her courage and her sense of humor. And I loved hanging out with you over the years. And I can't think of a more fun time than our trip that we took to Puerto Vallarta, which was Pim's last time that Pim ever got to travel internationally. And we had so much fun and we laughed so much. And then I've gotten to spend time with the two of you. And I can't wait to spend more time with the two of you. You're just such a tremendous couple. When I first met Geoff was about a year or so ago, and we were at the Bama family, and inevitably in the Bama family, if there's a group of more than 5 people, we're playing balderdash. And balderdash requires a unique set of attributes. Basically, you got to be a good storyteller, bit of a con man, also be able to sniff out a con man, and you must, above all else, have perfect grammar. It also requires a sense of humor and the ability to laugh at yourself. And Geoff fit in immediately. He was such a natural, and there was just such this awesome banter between the two of you while we were playing that game. You struck me immediately as the perfect couple for each other. And I've had the pleasure to speak to the two of you a lot over the last year after I volunteered for this gig. And I've also had the opportunity to talk to different members of both of your families. And it's just been, there's been so many prevailing themes, no matter who I talk to. The one thing everybody mentioned is just what a great couple you are. What a perfect fit you are. You guys just make sense. I enjoyed really talking to Chris and Jeannie, and she mentioned that the first time she ever met you, Kate, and you hugged her, it was exactly like a hug from Geoff, because he gives these big bear hugs, all-encompassing, like full-body hugs. And the first time she met you, she was like, I feel like I'm hugging Geoff. You guys just are such a perfect fit. When these two first met, they met online, as most people do. And one of the things that I think is so funny is that a thing that caught Geoff's attention was the fact that Kate had a cat named Senna. And for those of you who don't know, I believe his name is Ayrton Senna, and he was a famous Brazilian Formula One driver. Now, I know nothing about Formula One driving, but yet she had it posted as the name of her cat, and Geoff recognized it. I mean, what a perfect fit. What a perfect match. And as with any new relationship, you two got to learn things about each other. Geoff got to learn that Kate generally has a 4-foot-tall pile of clothes on the floor. And Kate got to get used to the way Geoff drives. Not only does he like Formula One driving, he kind of drives like a Formula One driver. And that was a topic of conversation that came up in many of the conversations that I had with different family members. Another overwhelming theme that came up is just what a stand-up guy Geoff is. How he goes out of his way to do little things and special things for people, whether or not he knows them. And I love this story about when Kate kind of first knew that Geoff just might be the one. He was late to pick her up for a date, and she was in her place in Brooklyn, and she was like wondering, where is this guy? And when he showed up, she learned that he was on the street helping a paraplegic woman that he had never met get home safely. It's just what a stand-up guy he is. And Kate, you demonstrate so many of those same characteristics. You two just go out of your way. Each one of you makes the people around you feel celebrated, makes them feel important, makes them feel special. You two are a perfect fit. I love the fact that we're outside here today and that everything worked out so well. But things don't always work out so well. For instance, when you two got engaged. Geoff wanted to take you to Gramercy Park, your favorite place in Brooklyn, and when you walked up, he started to have a little bit of a troubled look because the park was closed. And Greg knew what was going on, but Lauren did not. And so, people were saying different things, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But you made the most out of the situation. You got down on a knee, you asked her to marry you, and she said yes. And the pictures of it were splendid. And it's one of those shared collective memories that is going to be one of your favorites for all time. And I know this day will be too. You asked if there were words of wisdom that family members had to give in terms of what makes a successful marriage, what makes a marriage work. And there were many different conversations that I had with people, but a lot of the same circumstances and commonalities came out. And that was that it isn't always easy. Sometimes it's hard, but it's so worth it. And marriage is, a lot of it is compromise. Sometimes one thing is going to be more important to one of you than the other, and you just got to roll with it. You and I were talking last week, and you mentioned a word, and I think it so rings true for what makes a good marriage. Solidarity. You two are in this together. You're marrying your best friend. For me, the thing that really makes my marriage work with Jen is she makes me laugh. We crack each other up all the time. I love the way her mind works. And I see a lot of those same attributes in the two of you. I can see that you like the way each other ticks. You like the way each other thinks. And with that, just remember, you're embarking upon this grand adventure together. And think about life from the perspective of we and not me. And with that, I will now read your vows. Do you, Geoff, take Kate as your lawfully wedded spouse and promise to support her, push her, inspire her, laugh with her, celebrate her for as long as she both shall live? Do you promise to choose Kate every day, in word and deed, to be her best friend, to love her unconditionally, to view the world from the perspective of we, and to do the work of making now into always?
I do.
Do you, Kate, take Geoff to be your lawfully wedded spouse and promise to support him, push him, inspire him, laugh with him, and celebrate him for as long as you both shall live? Do you promise to choose Geoff? Do you promise to choose Geoff conditionally every day in word and deed, make the we and the me and the we, and do the hard work?
Yeah.
May I have the rings? I didn't make you repeat that part. Rings are alloys. Alloys are composites of metal that are made out of different ingredients because of what each thing contributes, be it its luster, its hardness, its durability, its strength, its beauty. You two have the characteristics to make a beautiful alloy and to make a beautiful marriage. And now, Geoff, I give you this ring to give to your bride. And if you would repeat after me, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and fidelity.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and fidelity.
As it encircles your finger, may it always remind you that you are surrounded by enduring love. As it encircles your finger,
As it encircles your finger,
may it always remind you
may it always remind you
that you are surrounded by my enduring love.
that you are surrounded by my enduring love.
If you would please give this to your groom. All right, Kate, you ready? Kate, I give you this ring, or Geoff, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love and fidelity. As it encircles your finger, may it always remind you that you are surrounded by my enduring love. By the powers vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please, for the first time, introduce Mr. and Mrs. Geoff and Kate Cardamone.
How about this going?
My shoes
Everyone's
are
going.
nasty.
Okay. Let's go clean up.
I stepped out.
Well, let's see what's going on, right? I got it.
Exercise with you, your host, James. I want to give him a big round of applause. Congratulations for
All right, in case you're wondering, I am Greg, Jeff's little brother. Believe it or not, little brother. And I think it says a lot about a man when he picks his little brother or his brother to be his best man. And basically, that Jeff has no friends. So everybody in the back is doing that because I can hear you laughing, so that's a good thing. So, okay. Jeff and I grew up together, and we shared a room into our early childhood and basically teenagers. Basically, I can describe it to you as being a dorm room. So we had a bookcase and I think a dresser, kind of separated like middle way down the room, and we thought it was pretty cool. It's like, you know, we have a dorm room, we're kids. But the funniest thing growing up together and sharing the room was, we used to listen to Dr. Ruth every Sunday night. Now, for all of you that don't know Dr. Ruth, she's a sex therapist. So, we used to turn the radio on every Sunday night just loud enough that we could hear it, right? Jeff and I, as young kids, we had no idea what they're talking about, but you get the gist. It was pretty cool. We're like, this is awesome. Well, that didn't last long because Mom and Dad busted us. And so that only lasted so long. But so Jeff is my best friend, and I think that's because we shared a room together, and just all those years of just, you know, being together, having fights, being brothers. So unfortunately, he was my first roommate, but we did become close because of it. So I'm grateful for it. Into our teenage years, Jeff became a little bit of a rebellious teenager. So I'm going to compare it to Eminem, but with blonde frosted tips. There are pictures. I didn't bring the PowerPoint with me tonight. Glasses, hoop earrings, you get the gist of it. So Jeff was a cool guy. But the best part of Jeff being a teenager, and I'm pretty sure Dad's going to remember this, is Jeff got caught smoking oregano in the basement. So it's fitting that he now lives in Colorado. So past our teenage years, we went to college. Jeff went to Wentworth, then to Drexel. He joined a sorority. I mean, hold on. He joined a fraternity, I believe. Right? Roommates, right? College memories. So Jeff and I had a little bit of distance between us, but we still kept in touch. But Jeff did attend my college basketball games, as you can imagine. I did play basketball, so Jeff came to a couple games. And one really good story is I got ejected from a game for being a little too aggressive. Well, believe it or not, as I'm getting escorted off the court, Jeff got ejected as well from the gymnasium. And so as I'm getting walked out to the locker room, the cop is trying to grab Jeff's arm, and he says, "Don't touch me." So, believe it or not, he did so. Now, that's not the only instance. The other time is during another game. You ready? You remember this one. This is good. So, somebody was talking a little bit of trash to me when I was on the bench, and he started going down with yo mama jokes. So, we said, listen, we're going to see you after the game, so you better stop now. He didn't stop. Now, anybody that knows Sue Box, which we called our mother, she didn't need any defending. But that's besides the point. So after the game, we're in the lobby. I come out, Jeff's out. We see the kid. He's still kind of jabbing over in the corner. He thinks he's cute. And, well, Jeff beeline goes right to him, picks him up by the throat, slams him against the glass trophy case, and I'm sitting there, what just happened? And this kid has the fear of God in his eyes, like, oh my goodness. So either way, the second time Jeff is at a basketball game, he's causing trouble, right? Go figure. So you guys see the trend here? See the trend? I'm making it up. All right. So let's go into our adult years here. I have to say, as adults, it's been enjoyable because we've been older, we've been on our own, and we've been able to do things together. We share the same hobbies: motorcycles, traveling, scuba diving. One of the memories of scuba diving is, and the first thing for anybody that doesn't scuba diving here is you're supposed to be with your partner at all times. Like the rule is, make sure you're with the person, they're with you, you're all safe, that kind of thing. We went on a night dive in St. Martin, and well, I descended and I was at the wreck, and I didn't know where Jeff was. And mind you, it's at night, so he's on the surface bobbing, and he doesn't know where anybody is. So he was really pissed off about that. So, how do you return the favor? We were in Bonaire a couple years later. I'm 100 feet deep, and I'm looking at my gauges. Well, Geoff forgot to turn my tank all the way. And so, luckily Geoff was there for me, and he gave me his secondary, so I was able to get to the surface. But, with that being said, you know, Geoff has his up and downs, but I can say that through the years that Geoff has become a better man. Not that he wasn't a good man before, but he's become a better man. He's a good partner, and I hope he'll be a better partner to you as he was for me. Sometimes. Kate, I was hoping to be the best looking person in the room today, but I failed miserably. You look amazing. You look amazing. Dr. Shane. I'm so happy to have you. And I can just tell you that when Geoff told me that he met someone and that he was going to get married, I knew that it was right, because Geoff never said that before. So I'm really happy for you. I would like to thank Tom, Kathy, my dad Gary for this beautiful reception and event. Thank you for everybody coming out. And so at this time, I'd like to ask everybody to raise their glass. God bless you both. I love you. To many years of health, happiness, and love.
Next up, we have Katie. Please give Katie some love.
Well, that was a tough act to follow, but we had a little bit more. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Caitlin. I've known Kate for 10 years now. We met each other on day one of hospital orientation, and we immediately locked eyes and were like, yeah, no problem. So it started out as a friendship, bonding over very superficial things like hair extensions and makeup, turned into what is more of a sisterhood today. To know Kate is to love Kate, as all of you know. I'm honored to be standing here 10 years later, bearing witness to the union of two beautiful people. Kate, Geoff, what I love most about the two of you is how you work together. Can you get through this? No, I'm kidding. I've never seen two people that fit so seamlessly into each other's lives, and it's hard to imagine a time when you guys weren't Kate and Geoff. Having been there from the beginning in New York, I know what appeared to be a seamless effort of two people who truly love one another and were determined to make their relationship work. New York isn't the easiest place to find love, and it's even harder to see love. They didn't just magically fit into each other's lives, they rearranged their lives to make room. They changed priorities, they made time for one another, and they learned to love each other's flaws. Kate and Geoff, your love makes us smile, makes us tear up with joy, and makes us believe in the kind of love cynics would make you feel is impossible. Thank you for being an inspiration to us all. No more tickets, cheers.
Next up, we have Gary.
Let's go. After those two great speeches, it's kind of hard to follow that up, but mine is a little bit shorter and a little bit more simple. I'd like to, first of all, thank everyone here who live close to here, which is just a few of you, as we talked about, a few of you for coming this evening. But so many of you, probably 100 plus, came in from way far away, and I'd like to thank you on behalf of both families for flying in and sharing this special day. Kate is special. is great. I mean, for a woman to be able to bring out the best in Geoff is fantastic. Gregory shares some great stories, and I gotta add one more. Geoff played ice hockey. And you can see he's a kind of a physical kind of guy. Mark, where are you? So, I don't go to one of his high school games, and I know he's played against the team that the school I taught at. Those kids went to that high school to play against Geoff. So, he's got this big name, Cardamone, back in New Jersey. Oh yeah, it's huge. It's huge. You like got the hyphenate. So Geoff gets a little upset during the game, I understand. He takes a run at a player, and one of my old students, and I know the father who's in the bleachers, and he just runs him over. He just steamrolls him, runs him over. Geoff's red card, or wherever it is, he's gone. He's out of there. The father comes down to give Geoff a couple words of wisdom. Geoff turns around, sort of like in the lobby of the Wilkes basketball game, doesn't pin the father on, but tells him exactly what he thinks. It is not, please and thank you. The father in those days had my number in his phone. So I get a phone call. I'm apologetic. I have no idea what's going on. I come find out from Geoff what happened. I call the guy the next day and say, listen, you think he's bad? And I repeated the same words he used. So if you wonder where he gets it, I have to say, especially, his mom didn't take any stuff either. And she's up above, and she's thrilled. I'm just so happy for both of you. Okay, welcome to the Cardamone family. We're a little bizarre at times. And it's probably never going to change, but we are. But I'd like to have all of you raise your glasses and wish them all the best and happiness in a long life together.
Next up we have her father of the bride, Tom.
Thank you everybody. First of all, having heard all these other stories about Geoff, about half of what I was going to say is completely out the window. The gentle, the sweet, easy to get along with partner. Anyway, everybody has said what a great couple they are and how well they fit together. Of course, the iconoclast in me wants to say, 2 months tops, don't you think? They're here to pay for the bar bill, and then, it's not true, but I mean, it's just, First of all, as Gary said, I want to thank everybody who traveled. We had a lot of people from all over the country. Not only the people in Denver and everything, we have people from Michigan, people from Utah, of all places. The only non-Mormons from Utah that have ever left the state. But we have people from Michigan, Saginaw, Michigan. And of course, people in Saginaw, Michigan can't wait to get out of town. So it didn't take a lot to get them to come here. So we have people, my family is here from Chicago. We have somebody who came from the Virgin Islands. And then, of course, we have the entire Brooms family, the Cardamones, who come from Brooklyn and Philadelphia and New Jersey and, we in Chicago refer to that as anything east of Erie is the greater New York City metropolitan area. So, there's no distinctions. We can't understand what any of you are saying. So, a couple things to read, a little bit. Everybody prepares for a wedding. Katie's been preparing for this wedding for a long time, whole life, obviously. So to make everything as beautiful and as perfect and as wonderful as it has been, my wife Kathy, of course, wants to be the mother of the bride. She only has one daughter. This is her chance. So we together went shopping. She picked out 16 mother of the bride dresses, 7 purses, 42 pairs of shoes. And I bought a new pair of shoelaces and a tie. So first of all, Katie is my stepdaughter, and I could not be more proud if she were my own daughter, but actually I'm more proud because if she were my daughter, she would never have been able to do a dance like that. And she still wouldn't have all her own teeth. So. The first time I met Katie and everything, I was dating Kathy, and Katie was 12, I guess, or so, and very much protective watchdog for her mother. I'm guessing that maybe the guys that she'd been dating, weren't measuring up to Katie's high standards, so she was wasn't sure how she felt. So one time, fairly early on and everything, we stopped at a White Hand or a 7-Eleven, and Katie asked for a Slurpee. And her mom said, "You're not getting a Slurpee." And she went inside, and Katie said, "You know what? You don't know it yet, but she's mean. She's really mean. You don't know it yet, but when you leave and she suddenly comes to me, she's mean." So Kathy comes out of the store and says, "Here's your Slurpee, here's 16 Snickers bars," and everything. I said, "You're right, mean. Just mean." So I was very, very lucky that we met and everything. Of course, I had to win her over a little bit, and things that I had in my favor were the fact that I had a big screen TV, a cat of my own, and also the fact that even though I was already like 50-some years old, I knew who the Spice Girls were. I could actually do the "Really Wanna Be Your Lover." I have obviously no sensitivity whatsoever. I learned a lot about teenage girls, things I hadn't learned when I was a teenage boy, clearly. One of which is they need a sense of space. Okay, we had built a house and suddenly, realized as the construction of her bedroom, suddenly the walls had clouds painted on them, and there were stars on the ceiling and pictures of half-naked rock stars pasted to the walls. And it'd be very different from my bedroom, at least. And she had her own furniture. Okay, so she had, in her own room, she had, first of all, an inflatable couch that was absolutely hideous. And what was even better, she had the biggest, hugest, ugliest magenta bean chair.
Why are
That
you laughing
filled
so hard?
the entire room. It was from the Jabba the Hutt collection. And then there was, of course, Katie's famous habit of housekeeping. Geoff, this won't come as a surprise, so obviously I'm not breaking any news. She worked at Abercrombie & Fitch for about a year and a half, and part of the training is she learned to perfectly fold all of the merchandise. She'd go into the dressing rooms and take and fold them up perfectly. and put them, back in the stacks. And so when you would go into her bedroom, apparently she learned how to fold clothing, but they never got hanger training. And so you walk into her bedroom and there would be like this 3-foot deep piles of perfectly folded clothing, and an empty walk-in closet. And then there were a lot of other things I wasn't experienced enough, and part of it is like being the father that has to interview the boys when they come, to the door. You got this whole thing you got to learn. So for her freshman homecoming, she's dressed up and everything else like that. She got to meet her boyfriend downstairs, and she wants to meet the grand entrance down the stairs and everything. So I've got, they're playing shit around me upstairs for half an hour, killing time. Got to entertain this. And I don't know what to ask them and everything. So like, stupid question. I say, well, Gary, I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now, if I go into law school longer, you learn, don't ask a question you're not expecting the answer to. And this was something I missed in law school because I said, what do you want to be, Gary? And he said, a sniper. And I had no follow-up. But I'm game, and I said, well, what kind of people would you like to kill? So fortunately, she came down the stairs. I didn't have to hear what the answer to that question was. But I learned a lot, okay, so that by the time, dear Geoff came along, he's a very good sport. He was willing to actually fill out the 45-page questionnaire and undergo the security clearance and that little cavity, whatever that was we had to hit. As you know, as you will discover if you don't already know, Katie is an amazing person. She's very hardworking. Her powers of concentration and will are absolutely amazing, which is why she's a wonderful nurse, which is why the wedding was held outside. It would have taken at least a Category 4 hurricane for that ceremony not to take place outside. I'm just saying. But what you don't know about her, though, is that she also can watch the same movie over and over and over and over and over again until she memorizes every single line. Okay, she's seen some movies, 7 Brides and 7 Brothers. She's seen 15,000 times. It's up to 700 brides and 16 brothers. And all I can say is, Geoff, don't be surprised if in the middle of the night you hear Katie say, Bueller? 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 The whole movie, absolutely not. Unfortunately, that's a true story. She graduated from Illinois State University as a nurse from a very difficult nursing program, and that was a signal event, of course, because liquor sales in Normal, Illinois went down 25% almost overnight. And finally, she and Geoff met on the internet, which, of course, how contemporary and modern is that everything, so it didn't cost you a drink or anything. I mean, that's pretty cool. Cost effective, I like that. And of course, through the fact that how many times did you swipe to the right or the left or something? She just had a nervous twitch, okay, it wasn't. She's been taking drugs for it, it's fine now. But they met, they've gotten a wonderful time. They, personally, at the end of all of this, I'm now a believer in the internet. I don't think she could possibly have made a better choice. And I would have talked about this gentle and thoughtful stuff, but like I said, that's out. But first time I met Geoff, I realized what an absolutely cool guy he was. We were having dinner in Hoboken, New Jersey with Kathy's sister for Thanksgiving. Oh, hello. Baseball, Frank Sinatra, and real estate prices. And so we're having Thanksgiving dinner, and he gets up and he goes into the bathroom, and I have a senior moment. and I'm not paying attention, so I get up and follow him into the bathroom. And I don't know who was more surprised, but Geoff was really cool. He just turned and said, "Hey, you are from Chicago, aren't you?" But he continued to date Katie despite that, so I guess I can put down the thoughtful and the patient kind I can put back. Katie has gotten Geoff to love cats. I guess he really didn't have a lot of experience with cats originally. And now they've got 16, 20. But I mean, together you visit them, it's like, Siegfried and Roy. I mean, they're really good together. Anyway, all in all, I do want to say I am this evening truly blessed. First of all, we had a beautiful, beautiful occasion. We had this opportunity for friends and relatives, including my relatives, to get along without throwing food. Had the opportunity to have an actual beautiful, put down those keys, a beautiful, wonderful wife, an absolutely fantastic daughter that I could not be more proud of, a great, great son-in-law, somebody who I can look up to. And a suit that still fits after 6 years. So, most of all, thank you, we've got a wonderful reception. Please raise your glasses to celebrate with all of us a toast to Katie and Geoff. I will drop the mic, but it's an extra $10 a plate. I'm not going to do that.
I don't really do public speeches, but the fact that everybody has traveled so far to spend this time with us, we're so appreciative of the fact that you all felt compelled to do this, and we love all of you so much. Thank you for being here, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of your time in Colorado.
And now at this time, the bride and groom are going to cut the cake.
Your